A young Jedi has a hard time listening to any of his father figures.
Welcome to the Walt Vault with Andre,
Michelle,
Emily,
And Luis.
We are a family-friendly podcast where each and every week we watch and review a different Disney movie. Be sure to subscribe on all podcast platforms and YouTube. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to the Walt Vault, episode 138.
oh my god, it gets more flamboyant each
My
time.
leg went up this time. I saw that.
it did.
He's gonna fall over next time.
That was
I'm
very
excited. Today we are talking about my favorite 1980 live-action space opera, Star Wars.
Practically.
Empire. Go ahead.
Episode 4.
No.
Episode 5.
That's right. The Empire Strikes
quit trying
Back.
to make that cool, guys.
It's not. It's not a cool thing. It's just. It
no,
is what
it's
it
the
is.
Empire Strikes Back OG2.
Okay.
Don't try to go with
Luis,
this
you
episode
were
stuff. We're done.
confusing me the other day when we were talking about. I was like, "Yeah, we just finished the first trilogy," and you were like, "OG1, OG2, or OG3?" And I was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. Which one's OG1?" Apparently,
is A New Hope.
OG1 in Luis's brain is 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
OG2 is 1, 2, 3.
No.
I refuse. Those names do not exist.
No, he's saying
I don't care about
OG
the
1, 2,
episode.
and 3 are 4, 5, and 6.
Right.
OG1, 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought he was doing it in the trilogy, like the OG trilogy.
Yeah.
1
No, Luis
is-
doesn't understand trilogies.
Now-
No, I refuse.
You're
it's not episode 4.
You're right, Lou, in that
Technically,
originally
they
came out and it was just Star Wars. It wasn't even A New Hope. And then it was Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. But George Lucas is the one who named it episodes. He was like, this is actually not the beginning of the story. It's the middle. And later we're going to have the beginning. And then after that, we're going to have the end. And so that's all part of his intelligent design.
You know what, Luis? You can go knock.
George Lucas doesn't know what he's talking about.
I'm just gonna say he's kind of a. Get ready to bleep me. He's kind of a bad because he really he had this vision, right? And I think we talked about this in the A New Hope episode.
Probably,
But
yes.
like how he had this vision for what he wanted this entire world to look like. And I really can only compare it to like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter because they're movie on movie on movie on movie that's all in the same universe that is a universe very different than reality.
Yes.
Right.
And he, very interestingly, started in the center of his story plot line and was able to make it all work pretty well. I mean, there's not many pitfalls until later on, but that's other people's problems, honestly.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of the only reason he did that is because he knew he didn't have enough of the technology he wanted to make the 1, 2, 3
Sure.
yet.
Exactly.
But also, some books I read, I love where they're like, here's the whole story, and now we're going to go back and tell you why the villain's bad. I like those kind
Yeah.
of things, so that's never really bothered me.
Right. I mean,
Like, I
this
don't need to
was-
know why the villain's bad yet. Like, oh, I hate this person. And then I get the backstory, and I'm like, this poor soul. Not that I feel that way about Anakin, because I don't.
You
But
poor
Yeah, he was
soul.
Anakin.
he
could-
deserved it, that
That's
pod
another
racer.
story. But-
yeah.
But I like
How
the
dare
way
he
I like
pod
the
race.
way it's set up into trilogies. It feels very like cohesive to me. Like I like 3. Like 3 movies is a good number.
3 movies is a good number.
Yeah. But
for,
now there's
to
9,
tell a story.
which is a bit
Trifecta.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the movie that changed basically all movies.
This is the sequel of the century. I would say.
Yeah.
The 20th century. Is that right? 20th Century
Yes.
Fox. Yeah. The Empire Strikes Back. Was
Were there sequels before that?
Yes. But not many.
But not sequels like this
A
where
lot of
people
horror
were like,
sequels.
Right.
"Oh, that makes sense."
Yeah, like smaller scale stuff.
Yeah.
This is like probably the biggest sequel blockbuster.
Or
Yeah.
maybe the
Of
one
the
that
time.
had the biggest impact on the way movies were made and things like that.
I
Like,
mean, yeah.
like this is, I mean,
because the quality was the same between the first and the second versus like big budget straight to VHS.
Right.
also
Yeah,
just
yeah.
having it be a huge cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of unheard
It's
of
kind of a big
at the
deal.
time. Like I think we were watching a documentary on it, and George Lucas said that he actually spoke with some psychologists and wanted to know if this was going to mess people up. If they, the big reveal, we'll get into it. I mean, I guess it's no spoiler at this point if you haven't seen Star Wars.
Oh yeah, guys, spoilers
Darth Vader
for
is
Star
Luke's
Wars.
father, okay? So he wanted to know
That's your own fault.
that if he said that, was it going to mess with kids? Like, were they going to be like, what? And the psychologist said, no, not really. Either they're going to think that guy's lying because he's a villain, because he's Darth Vader and he's going to lie. Or they're just like, nah, I don't believe you. So they were like, it's not going to mess up their psyches.
They'll
that much.
either accept it or reject it.
I
Yeah,
thought
they'll
you were
accept it
talking
or
about the
reject it.
cliffhanger being
Oh, Han
that
Solo
Han
being in-
Solo was
Oh.
in like
Well,
carbonite. I
Carbonite.
was
That
like,
was definitely the cliffhanger
I'm like, that's the cliffhanger for me.
adults. Yeah, that was the
That's
massive.
true. Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're like, oh, Avengers Infinity War, everyone's dead. It's fine. Let me wait a whole year to see what happens.
I mean,
Exactly.
yeah.
But here they were waiting years and years, not just 1 year like we were.
It was,
Yeah,
It was
quicker turnaround
quite a
time
few
now.
years.
It's just super funny to me because, I mean, I am not trying to be weird, but like Harrison Ford is so good looking in these.
Yeah, he is.
Good Lord, he is the heartthrob of heartthrobs. I mean, if Luis wasn't Luis, you know what? You are the heartthrob, Lou, but like number 2 is young Harrison Ford.
I was
He
watching.
looks so good.
I was watching Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark today.
Similarly,
this morning,
good looking.
and I was like, "Holy moly!
Yeah.
Oh my God!" He had his shirt all popped open and he's whipping people like Jesus.
Yeah, and then you have to see freaking Luke, and you're like, ugh. I mean, I know he got in a car crash before this movie, but
poor Mark Hamill in his face.
Well, he's better as a young man than he is when he comes back later. Good Lord.
And I actually personally asked my mom this the first time I watched all of the Star Wars stuff with Andre. I was like, well, who, like, because you grew up with these movies, like, who did you have a crush on? Was it Han or was it Luke? And she was like, oh, it was Han. Everybody had a crush on Han. I was like, well, what did you think about Luke? She was like, it was okay.
I thought your mom liked Luke.
No, she liked Han.
Oh, okay. Well,
He's
I mean, it makes sense, but I thought she was
She
departing
thought-
from the norm,
she
and I thought she
thought
liked Luke.
Luke was cute because
Right.
she thought he looked like my dad,
Okay.
like a little blonde, curly-haired.
That's
boy.
funny,
But
but
she did-
FYI,
but she
your
was
dad's
Han.
better looking than Luke.
Yeah, he is. Well, from the first movie, think about where he looks a little bit younger
Yeah.
and he has his curly 70s hair. That was my dad kind of had that hair, But it was Han that everybody was
Well,
kind
I
of
mean,
over.
yeah, he's
I mean, yeah.
he's a hottie with a body, and we all know it.
So,
I'm going back trying to watch that Raiders of the Lost Ark right now, you know what I'm saying?
By the way, we if you missed our previous Star Wars conversation, we talked about A New Hope on episode 86.
oh my
was a
God,
while
that
ago.
seems so long ago.
Yes, and then we just talked about Rogue One on
Yeah.
episode 135.
Andre and I are almost done. We just have one more movie.
Oh my God, we have so many more. But
One more.
I guess we still have, we went to 1, 2, 3,
Did you do 1, 2, 3 Rogue?
did 1, 2, 3, Rogue, Solo,
4, 5?
4, 5.
That's good.
So we are in order.
When did we do Solo? We did Solo in between 4
Yeah,
and 5.
I think we watched
'Cause we
Solo.
kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, after 4.
yeah.
I was like, oops.
And then
forgot
we
this one
just
takes
did
place
7,
earlier.
8, and now we just have to watch 9 this weekend.
Mm-hmm. 9 of
Mm.
these bad boys, and I believe the one that we're talking about right now is the absolute best of them.
It's pretty good.
Is
In your opinion, Rogue One is still my favorite.
that's
but-
that's true. Yes. It is. That's my opinion.
And if I'm picking my favorite episode, like out of the movies,
Mm-hmm.
like it's a close call between 6 and 3 for me.
Oh, okay.
Because 3 I just love to make fun of, and you can't help it. It's just so good.
Yeah, but does that mean it's a good movie, or does that
Yeah.
mean you like to make fun
I
of it?
like to watch it.
It's her
fun
favorite to
me.
watch.
Okay.
It's fun to me.
You know.
But 6 is like
3's got lots of funny moments.
yeah,
Three
it
is,
is funny. It's good. Like,
hilarious.
it's fun.
The GIF you sent today, not the GIF, the video you sent today.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to repost that.
It was so good.
Oh, with the Obi-Wan and Grievous
I
thing.
have the higher ground.
No,
Oh, the
car
the bumper
decals?
stickers. That's right. Yeah, there's
So-
all kinds of Star Wars memes out there, y'all. Open
We
your
are
internet
dying over
browser.
here.
Listeners, if you
find
see
them.
a good Star Wars meme, send it our way because we love them right now.
they funny.
Louise sent
No,
me
the Grievous one
all
was
the
good
videos
too.
of the SNL skits of freaking Kylo Ren. I did rewatch them. They're so good. But
He's doing Undercover Boss. And
Oh,
it's
that's right.
very good.
anything Star Wars is still funny to me. Like
Yeah.
a good Star Wars meme. So this movie though
Mhm.
starts on a whole different planet. And how much time would you say has passed between like 4 and 5?
Oh, in the universe,
Yeah, like between those two movies.
it's
like
been about a year.
Like
Yes.
a year? Okay.
Can we pause right here? I got so mad at Louise when we first started watching this movie because I had my crawl voice on, okay? And I was narrating what it said in the crawl, and Louise looked at me and was like, "You don't have to say it that loud." And I looked over at him
You
like,
absolutely
We had
do.
kids sleeping.
okay,
In fact,
first off, the
Andre,
kids were
I
not
think-
asleep. They were sitting between us.
Ah.
No, they weren't.
I think Andre
That's not
should read
true.
it right now because he does it at the beginning of every movie.
Oh, you
want
wanna read the-
Let's set the scene.
Well, that
man.
really does set
You
the
read the
scene for
crawl?
the movie.
Let's set the scene.
All right, here we go. Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. It is a dark time for the rebellion. Although the Death Star has been destroyed, Imperial troops have driven the rebel forces from their hidden base and pursued them across the galaxy. Evading the dreaded Imperial Starfleet, a group of freedom fighters led by Luke Skywalker has established a new secret base on the remote ice world of Hoth. The evil Lord Darth Vader, obsessed with finding young Skywalker, has dispatched thousands of remote probes into the far reaches of space. Dot, 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 dot.
Dot, 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 dot.
So
So there we go. We've set the scene.
This
I
is
actually
my-
like the crawls.
this is my least. I think we should do this again where we did our favorite scene, least favorite scene,
Okay.
favorite character, least
Least
favorite
favorite
character. This is my least favorite part
We
scene.
should also do the underappreciated character.
Okay.
Okay.
But I do not like this planet.
Just Hoth in
Hoth?
general.
Yeah.
The whole battle.
Yeah.
Snow.
All the snow.
I mean, the
Cold.
battle's pretty cool.
Battle's
I
cool.
like the Empire's like thing.
They
You don't
deities.
like the creature.
Well, I don't like. No, you're right. I don't like that
Yeah,
creature. I
mine
don't like the
doesn't-
abominable.
I feel like I already know you don't like Hoth because you don't like the creatures.
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of the
nasty.
times in Star Wars, I feel like you.
Yeah, I'm
you
not
don't
a huge Star Wars
You don't
creature
wanna
fan.
person.
just get cozy in a tauntaun's belly?
No, they're
Just
not.
slice that bad boy open?
Good lord.
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
I know.
And I'm gonna,
Dude,
I'm not-
Han's freaking dialogue in some of this, I'm like, good God, this is so.
Oh,
I
you
love
know
it,
why?
dude.
Why I love this movie so much though is the tension between Han and Leia is already in the first 5 minutes. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So they're
They
act-
trying to
Mhm.
sex.
Yes,
and
they
if you want to
are.
bleep that, you can.
I will not.
that is a word in the English dictionary. So we're on Hoth, right? And Luke's there, and Leia's there, and Han,
And
is,
Luke's always like, "You want to sex me?"
I know,
And she's like, "Nah."
Nah, dude.
I know, so funny.
It's very funny.
So yeah, who would? Han's right in front of you. Sorry, dude. So he's like packing up his stuff with Chewie, right? They're putting it back on the Millennium Falcon, and he's telling the commander or whatever,
Deck officer.
I gotta go. I got debts to pay to Jabba the Hutt or whatever. And meanwhile, Leia's like looking around the corner, like, is he gonna leave?
Giving
is
him-
he not?
Furtive glances.
And then he's like, yeah, I have to go. And she's like, well, you were a very good commander. We need you. And he's like, just say it, Leia. Say you want me here. Like, already in the first 10 minutes, I'm like, this is good. What happened the last year? I got to know.
You need a good kiss. That's what he
Yeah, he
says.
pretty much said like, "You
Yeah.
need to get laid."
He's like,
Yeah.
I'd rather kiss a Wookiee. He's like, I can arrange that.
She loves Chewbacca.
Gross.
And she calls him the nerf herder part. What does he say?
Scruffy looking
nerfy
nerf herder.
Which is funny because my dad said that all growing up, and I never knew the context. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That's why I used to call Dougie Scruffy, because I wanted to
Scruffy
name him
looking nerf herder.
Chewbacca.
Oh, you should have
Yeah,
named
he's
him
a
nerf
Scruffy.
herder.
Nerf herder.
Come on, Nerf herder. Come on, get it.
Let's herd these nerfs, dog. Yes, that's after Luke gets pummeled by the abominable snowman and ridden in the tauntaun, and then they go
Don't
back
go
to the
out
base.
in the snow, homie.
He got to investigate. He's the hero.
He didn't have
He's
to.
the hero
Yeah,
of the
that's his
rebellion.
own fault for going out by
Oh,
himself.
it's a proud droid.
Well-
Yeah, wait till the morning.
It's so funny too because when Han puts him inside that, ugh,
The tauntaun.
The
yeah,
tauntaun.
the tauntaun, I looked at Luis and was like, I guess I didn't realize, because the first time I had ever seen that type of thing, I mean, I guess I must have seen it the first time I watched this movie, but it just didn't click. But I think of that as being like a major part of the Revenant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He cuts
to
open
stay
the
warm.
horse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so jarring to see it
Very
there.
visceral.
Oh, good Lord. That was so awful. And I think back to that now. And this, in comparison, like an 80s movie, was like not
Doesn't
that big
look
of a
that
deal.
bad,
It's
yeah.
like, oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I get it.
Hop
But
on
in
in.
that other movie, it was like, oh, so realistic.
Yeah,
Blah.
it was really gross. But when I was watching The Revenant, I was like, it's a tauntaun.
Exactly.
He's going to stay warm all
It's,
night.
it's so funny because you know how like I don't know.
Hold up, though. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Did Han get in with him?
I believe
Probably.
so.
Because
They had to stay warm.
all of a sudden, Han just
Yeah,
you
in the
know,
morning, he's like, hey, y'all.
Hey, what took you so long? And yeah, I think he got
I
in
think
there.
they were both in
They
the
was, they was
tauntaun.
cuddling, some Han
Luke
Luke
had
cuddles.
just been down longer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
He's
But
like, I'll just pretend you're Leia.
on,
And then the other one's like, I'll just pretend
Stroke your
you're
hair. You
Leia.
smell like her. Wow, it's crazy.
That's cool. Just move Luke down towards the rectum. He's just small enough. So
rectum.
Good God.
Oh, no.
Please stop.
Han could just chill up by the chest and move Luke down by the
I
rectum.
hate you so much.
cool.
Stop talking.
What were you going to say, dear?
I don't even know. I don't even know no mo.
That was a great Louis line.
Oh, I was gonna say the reason I didn't ever want to watch Star Wars is because one time, as a kid, my dad was
Didn't
watching.
ever.
My dad was watching the AMC channel where they play movies, and there was this movie, and they were on Hoth, and they cut open the tauntaun, and I was like, I'm never watching Star Wars. That's gross.
Oh.
And then I didn't until Andre.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That was good.
You got
In case you
grossed
were
out.
wondering.
That's interesting. There's only a couple entrails that pop out.
Why you have to say entrails?
Han uses the lightsaber. That was kind of cool. For a hot
His
sec.
only time.
The
to
only
use
time
it.
he ever gets to touch it. Yeah.
Anyways, they get back to the base.
They get back to the base. Han is planning to leave,
Still.
but since Vader and his homies sent out the probe droid, they know
They've been
that
found. They've been made.
the
Probe.
rebellion base is on Hoth. Probe.
Are you laughing to yourself, or did you pick up the?
He picked it up. He said probe into the mic, and then he put it back down.
I can't with Louise right now. You, guys. You and your rectum probe.
So,
Rectum.
so Vader, he's like, I know it. They're there. The rebellion base. Let's go to Hoth. Here we go. And then they all
Here we go.
they show up, and the rebellion has to make a quick escape. They have to ship out everybody. Everybody hop on a transport. Get out of here. Get gone. Get going. And while that's happening,
Get, go.
He's trying to white fang him, honestly.
Oh my god.
get out of here. Throwing rocks. So so they prepare for battle, and AT-ATs walk in. This
Which
is a
pretty
new-
much is that. I'm assuming they're just gonna like forfeit themselves because they're not getting on transports to leave.
Well, it's in the movie. They're like, we'll cover you, basically, while everybody else escapes. So everybody gets out of there.
A couple of them
They're
died.
yeah. I mean, a fair amount of them die. Yeah, it's not.
But like,
not
were they
pretty for
planning on
everybody.
leaving too?
I think the ones that survive, you see it towards the end of the scene that all the soldiers retreat, run away, hop on the very last transport,
I see.
and take off. Yeah, so it's not like they just got left on Hoth to hang out with the abominable snowman or whatever.
This is the movie where they take the AT-AT down with the string.
The
right?
string,
And
The
I always
cord.
think
With
of
the string.
and I always think of
Captain
Infinity
America:
War
Civil War.
or Civil War. Yeah,
When we first
where
meet
Spider-Man's
Spider-Man.
like, that thing with that
Mhm.
movie.
The really old
That
movie.
really old movie, and Iron
Uh-huh.
Man's like, "How old is this kid?" I'm like, you mean Star Wars?
Yeah, it's fantastic. A
Yep.
great reference that
It's a really good reference. I always think of that
now they're intrinsically tied together
when
forever.
I see AT-ATs and like that thing happening, I always think of that.
Yeah, trip them up. It's really cool because like the AT-ATs when they first arrive, this is the new danger that the Empire has we haven't seen before in this movie,
New Imperial tech.
and they're shooting at it and it's not doing nothing, and they're hitting it with all they've gotten is not doing crap, and the fact that they wrap it up and trip it is
Fantastic.
Pretty
is a
clever.
very very clever idea. Poor Dak, he got blown up before it.
I feel like it's always
Before they
Red
succeeded.
Leader, and Andre will be like, "There goes another Red Leader." Goodbye, Red Leader.
Peace out, Red 5. It's over.
Yeah.
There was a Rogue 2 too, which I appreciated.
Yes, Rogue 2.
Rogue One, go.
That's right. Yeah, Rogue 1 is over.
Rogue One is Rogue. Am I correct in saying that the AT-ATs are supposed to be, well, not supposed to be, but they were what do you call it? They were based off of the things in Oakland.
Oh, the
Oh yeah,
the I don't know what
the
those things
thing
are
on the
called.
bay.
So like cranes.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
big cranes.
Yeah, every time I drive that way, I'm like, there's the AT-ATs.
For sure.
That
so
makes a lot of sense because homie Lucas is from Motown. Shout out,
He's from our town.
Modesto.
I don't think he currently lives here. He's
No.
probably in the Bay Area. but-
Right, exactly. So
Yep.
he moved from here to there. That's where Skywalker Ranch is in the Bay Area. And
Mhm.
yeah, must have seen cranes all the time.
So if you guys
From here to there, a Lucas story.
I'm done with you right
Here
now.
to there. To back again.
If you guys have ever been to the Bay Area of California, it's near San Francisco-esque. Probably about 30 minutes southeast of there in
Yeah.
the Oakland area. When you're driving through the bay or driving next to the bay, you see literal things that look just like the AT-ATs.
Yeah, they definitely do.
And they were apparently the inspiration for George Lucas's design,
The
which is
Oakland
very
cranes.
funny because they look very similar.
Yeah.
I mean, they look like creatures.
And they definitely look like big giraffes or whatever.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And it's cool to turn them into a metallic, long-legged animal that can stomp on you and blast you and stuff.
Blast ya.
Blast you. So
So how do they get separated at this point, right? The battle's over, and Luke hops in his...
he hops in his X-wing
and
because
with R2-D2, and he's like, I'm going to go to Dagobah, because he had a vision of...
he saw
he had a
Obi-Wan.
vision of Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan.
telling him, get off your butt in the cold, homie. You're going to go to Dagobah,
Luke,
and...
use the Force.
Shut
and
up.
you're going to find Master Yoda, and he's going to train you, right?
Go to the Dagobah system.
So Luke goes that
Go
way,
and find Master Yoko Ono.
For sure.
and then Han and Leia go the other way.
Han
I
and
want-
Leia hop on the Millennium Falcon
Yeah.
and try to escape because they missed the transports, right? So
Mhm.
they're basically like the last ship off of the planet.
And they want to follow them.
Well, right. The Empire is hot on their tail. So
And they
there's,
hate that Millennium Falcon.
There's TIE fighters. There's TIE fighters right behind them, and they're engaged with the Empire for most of the movie, basically.
Oh yeah, so they're trying to escape,
Mhm.
and I love the Millennium Falcon because it never works. He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to light speed." No, we're not.
Yeah, it's very
And Leia
good.
is always like, "Thanks,
It's not my
hon."
fault. It's not my fault.
Bro. It's your
Yeah.
fault. You
Hyperdrive is always broken.
drive a
on
hunk
this.
of junk. Oh yeah, this is where they go on the asteroids.
Yeah, Asteroid Field is one of my favorite.
Can we pause right
favorite
here,
scenes.
though?
Yes, please.
I think because we just watched Solo, I appreciate this movie even more.
Yeah.
Which, shout out to Emily, who's going to choose Solo next month. You're welcome. That one is my personal
I ain't mad
favorite.
about it.
But you get like a lot of the backstory on Lando, and you get the backstory on the ship, making it more interesting to rewatch.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it kind of is a hunk of junk, sadly.
Right.
But like it's also beloved, and so he doesn't really want to do a whole bunch to like.
He's like, "I'm getting rid of this thing. I love it."
Yeah, when it's like, but you could get something better.
It's really cool because
He wants it to be original.
Right. The Millennium Falcon has always represented like the cool rocker dude's hippie van or whatever, and it's from the 70s and it doesn't run very well, but this dude bumps it with his elbow and it kicks into life, and he's like, let's hop in.
I was
my
thinking
ride.
about it as like the Black Pearl when Captain Jack Sparrow doesn't want just any ship.
Yes.
He only
Yeah.
wants the Black Pearl.
That's right. It's very special to its captain, and only to its captain, because
Yeah.
otherwise it is a hunk of junk.
Mhm.
But to be fair, it is a fast ship that he has converted into this mega smuggling machine.
He's always saying that he made the Kessel Run.
Kessel
in
Run, 12
12
parsecs.
parsecs.
Mhm.
If you round down.
Stupid.
You round down,
He's
fudge,
like, who rounds down?
fudge the numbers a little bit or whatever. Can't be perfect.
So stupid. Oh yeah, and then so they're trying to like run away from the TIE fighters, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Han's like, I'm just gonna land on this really big asteroid, and they go down into a cave, and that's fine and dandy. They're gonna wait there, and this is where another tense scene happens.
They're hanging out in the cave.
Comes around the corner,
Leia's attempting to fix something on the ship. She's already annoyed
and she's like, "Don't touch me," and he's like, "Your hands, just so cold
and dirty.
and dirty," and she's like, "Don't touch me."
My hands are dirty too. What's the problem?
Pretty
and their
smooth.
faces get real close to each other, and then everybody in the audience like, do it, and then freaking C-3PO walks in.
As
C-3PO,
usual.
the worst.
Hello, I hope I'm not interrupting.
Luis literally was
That's
like,
what we call the
Stop it.
Sorry.
Luis was like, I don't think any droid could be any more annoying.
Mom's
so
face
mad.
after is like, are you freaking kidding me? And Leia runs
Dudes,
away.
if I were in that movie, I would have freaking,
Wrung his neck.
I would have like recycled them already.
Well, I think there is a point in this
Scrap-pieced him.
movie where Leia straight up turns him off. She's
Yeah.
like, shut
Yeah.
up.
I think
Somebody
one
shut
of the
him down.
interesting things about this scene when they're inside the asteroid, quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
is that it was very reminiscent, or I should say, the Mandalorian episode was very reminiscent of this scene.
Yeah.
Right.
With the spiders.
Yeah.
Yes, episode 2 of season 2 of the Mandalorian.
That
Yeah.
was a good episode.
Yeah. When you get stranded, you get stranded. You know.
You get stranded in
And there's
nasties.
always some nasty creatures out there. Space is scary.
Well, and then at the end, it feels very Pinocchio. I'm like, oh, they're in a, not a whale, but in a whatever that was.
Oh, right. Yeah. So
A space whale.
space whale. So Han,
Kind of looks like a sarlacc.
Chewie, Leia, and 3PO are all in this cave, and creepy stuff is happening outside. They go out to investigate, and there's Minox everywhere. They're flapping and flapping and flying around.
They look like pterodactyls.
Yeah, they're little mini Henson-esque pterodactyls. A lot of Henson in this movie, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So they cleared them off, and they're like, wait a minute, the ground is really sticky and wet in here, and there's like a lot of moisture in the air for this being an asteroid, which doesn't have an atmosphere. That's weird. So they hop back in the ship, they get it working again. And as they're doing that, the cave is rumbling and shaking around. They fly out right in between some teeth.
Ew.
Like
You know, like,
Monstro.
the cave is trying to eat us. It is exactly like Monstro.
Yeah.
They got the same dentist, this monster and the whale. The same teeth in there.
So they get off of the asteroid and they go somewhere. So at this point,
And they go somewhere.
Vader is real mad because like nobody from his freaking people can find the Millennium Falcon, right? I think he's choked out like 2 dudes at this point. Probably.
Dude, oh my God.
He stayed choking.
Why would you work for him? You know
don't
you're
know.
going to get choked out
I mean,
and die.
this is like the one of the top jobs in the galaxy,
Yeah.
right? To be
To
working
die?
under Darth Vader
To die?
on the Death Star, or not on the Death Star, but on a Star Destroyer, being a lieutenant commander, whatever, one of these British hats.
I wouldn't do it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I assume this job must pay pretty well.
I don't bet it pays anything.
Room and board.
Yeah, room and board.
Definitely
we
some
won't.
room.
Maybe we won't kill you.
Has a very gracious life insurance policy that
Yeah.
comes with it. So.
There's a lot of room for moving up, you know? You're in there, you're just a lowly stormtrooper, then some dude gets choked out right above you. Guess what? I'm a commander now, okay? Some dude gets choked out above me. Guess what? I'm a captain now, okay? Moving
So-
up
I'll
the
be
ranks.
flying this Star Destroyer.
So Vader is like so mad at who's the commander at this point? Who's the one that he's always talking to?
Is it Admiral Piet? Let me see here.
I can't remember.
Well, you're right. He has choked out a couple of dudes. It's hard to
Yeah.
keep them all
It's
straight.
not Tarkin.
But no. Tarkin is dead.
Yeah,
Tarkin died on the Death
blew
Star.
up. Okay, anyways, it doesn't matter because he keeps choking him out.
Right.
So that's the point. So he hires a bunch of
Bounty hunters.
Mercenary bounty
Yes. He wants to hunt down Luke and bring them together because he had a meeting with his boss, old Emperor Palpatine. He's like, guess what? There's a Skywalker out there. I don't know if you've ever heard of that name before, but there's a new young one.
He's like Skywalker's dead. Okay.
This can't be possible.
Which I won't even lie to you. Now, after rewatching the old ones,
Mhm.
like, it's funny because I would have liked to have watched it for the first time and be like, who the hell is this Emperor person?
Right.
And why does the name Skywalker, like, why is that
What
important?
does that mean to
Yeah.
him?
You know? But when you know the backstory, it's like, oh, so you lied to me. Oh, like, I want Darth Vader to, like, choke him through the universe, like, so.
Right.
Oh,
Well-
So you told me my children are dead, but they're not.
The thing is, like, in episode 4, in A New Hope, they do say that, like, Darth Vader killed Anakin Skywalker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you think, from a non-spoilery point of view, you think that like, oh, there's another Skywalker I got to go kill or whatever.
No, but
that's why he
from a
wants him so bad.
non-spoiler view, but now Emily's right. Watching the prequels, I feel like Anakin, not Vader, he's in Vader somewhere, would be way more pissed because he's like, oh, do my kid have Padme's eyes? Like, Padme.
Sure.
Padme.
Yeah.
Well, especially because at the end of 3, when
like,
Vader's getting his like
"No."
Vader like costume, I don't want to call it a costume, but
he's getting his uniform put
he's
on.
getting his uniform for the first time. He's like talking to Palpatine, and he's like,
Where's Padme?
"Where's my Padme? Where's my kids?" And
Is she
he's
all right?
and Palpatine was like, "Dude, they dead." And he was like, "No!" So it's like,
You think he would be more mad?
don't you think you'd be a little bit pissed off, like a little?
Right. So, I think when he asked Palpatine that at the end of episode 3, Anakin assumed that he had killed Padme when he choked her out earlier in that movie, right?
Well, that would make sense.
He choked her out. She was lifeless, and that was the last time he saw her. So, that immediately puts all the guilt and the anger inward towards himself. And the fact that he knew that there was one baby, right? And he assumed that baby died. But the fact that a baby is still alive just means that somebody must have pulled it out of her and he survived, and they...
Well, and I don't think he knew that because he
hid him
only
from them.
asked about Padme. Like, where's Padme?
Mhm.
And they're like, well, she's dead. So he's assuming his
assumed the
kids were
baby.
dead
Baby
because
is dead.
he didn't know Padme went into labor. You know?
Right. Didn't know she made it that far.
So now he's like, oh, my kids are...
Well, kid,
Kid.
because he only thought
Once
there was
again,
one.
They
That's true.
apparently
He
they
only
don't
thinks
have
there's
no ultrasounds in this galaxy at all. Thought there was only one baby in that big old belly.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been tasked with finding young Skywalker, and he's very interested in doing so. And so yeah, he hires these bounty hunters. And while that's happening, Han and Leia, they're in the Falcon. It still can't go to hyperspace, so
They do a smart thing.
they do a really cool move. They dive in between two Star Destroyers. It sets them all off. They kind of crash into each other a little bit, and then they turn off the power to the ship and hide on the back of one of the Star Destroyers, and they lose them on the sensors. And so they're
yeah,
like, all
and
right,
then they
let's
drift away with the trash.
eject the garbage,
You
and then they drifted away and flew off from
Yeah,
there.
it was pretty smart.
But who should be following them but one of the bounty hunters himself?
It's me, Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
They have to say like, oh, Boba Fett.
I'm Boba
No,
I'm Boba.
no, Boba Fett.
Fett.
Well,
Boba
you're ruining
Fett.
it.
Shaken, not stirred.
Meanwhile, on Dagobah.
Okay, hold on, pause here, because this is where it feels 900% to me like Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Where
Oh.
you're going through Lord of the Rings and you're like, ooh, I really care about this storyline
Mhm.
with Aragorn and the freaking what's the Boromir and Faramir and all these other people, and then you're like, oh yeah, and Frodo with the freaking ring. I mean, he's Frodo, like, get to Mordor, get in there,
Walk
bro.
faster,
Like,
dude.
In other words, you did not like Dagobah.
dude, like every time Luke comes back on screen, I'm like, come on.
See, that's fascinating to me because the Jedi stuff is always my favorite stuff in these movies, and so I'm always
like-
following Luke, and I like
I
Han
like
and Leia,
Yoda. That's why.
but
Yoga's funny in this one.
but we come back to Luke. I'm
Did I
like,
say
all
yoga?
right, let's meet some
I
Yoda.
like yoga.
I think
Yoda,
it's
yeah,
Yoda.
he's funny in this one. And also, I like Dagobah. I was telling Andre, I was like, what did they do? Go to a zoo and borrow all the snakes and lizards and put them on the set?
Yeah,
like,
man.
They were like, we're going to put
Yeah.
1 million snakes on this set, and you're just going to walk through them
Y'all ever seen an iguana before? Guess what? It's
all
in
the
space.
time.
It reminds me of in Avatar, The Last Airbender, in that show. It reminds me of the little area he goes to, like Aang goes to, and it's a swamp, and all the tree people
Oh,
are
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
earth.
Oh, is
like,
it the Spirit World? When it,
No, the swamp. Remember
They're
the
like
swamp
swampy bender
that's,
people
That's
with
right.
the
And he gets
giant
like
tree?
lost in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
that's what it reminds
Yeah.
me of.
Yeah,
so
very
we're
similar.
here. Luke.
He's just so disrespectful. I think that's why I get mad. Like, he's just such a little
He crashes
shithead.
it.
Excuse
He
me, I'm
crashes
sorry.
his
He
ship
crashes his ship into the
because he
lake or
can't-
into the swamp.
like see it really on his sensors or any life forms or whatever. So he goes into the atmosphere.
Well, he should be a better space pilot, man.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, slow
his
down,
sensors
dog,
go
you know?
out on his. I don't know. Something happened.
That's his own fault.
And then poor
It also could
R2
be that the
gets
force
like
was
ejected from it.
pulling him towards the ground.
Can you do that R2 sound when he gets ejected?
I get so happy every time he screams. It's so funny. That was actually very
I
fantastic.
hate that.
But-
sound.
It's so
I love
funny.
it.
It's
I
very
love that
funny.
sound.
It's pretty great.
That's the best thing R2 does.
Yeah, so R2 gets plumped into the water, and he gets himself out because Luke is not diving in there to
He
rescue him.
is
at
so
all.
useless. Like he literally is just sitting there, like yelling at R2.
R2, R2,
Are you okay?
I know you're like an 800-pound droid, so you probably can't swim, but are you all right, man?
He's so useless. I hate him so much.
So yeah, then
Luckily, he didn't taste good in the monster.
yeah, whatever was under there,
Couldn't chew on him.
it spit him out back up onto land, and R2's fine. He's a little dirty, but he'll be all right.
Luke meets a little green man on Dagobah.
Luke sets up camp, and he's like, "What am I doing here? This is so stupid. I'm not gonna find no
He
Yoda."
is such a
That's-
little.
Like, bro, you've been here for
whiner.
5 minutes. It's a whole planet.
Yeah, you think Anakin's bad? I'm sorry, but I could deal with Luke less.
Yeah.
I think Luke is.
Whinier.
Mr. Yoda.
I think what's really funny though, and Luis and I said this so many times when watching this movie. We said it a fair amount in 4, but in 5, you can just tell because they've known each other longer. Every character is so, get ready to bleep me, like everyone is just at each other, and they're just so mad, and it's just snippy,
Yeah.
and it's like, good lord,
Can
could
y'all
you
get
just
it together?
It's
We got a
breathe for a
galaxy to
second.
save.
It's like Harry Potter book 5.
5?
Yes.
It's totally like
Episode
5.
5, Book 5, Order of the Empire. You know what I'm saying?
Order of
The hormones.
The Phoenix strikes back. And so does Luke. So Luke
That
is,
was my lightsaber sound.
And you have to go.
Luke is there. He's moaning. He's whining. And who should come by but this little green weirdo?
And you hold on. Pause, because we need to laugh about it. But the first thing Louis says is, he's like, "That sounds like Miss Piggy." And then I was like, you know what? It really does sound like Frank Oz. And then I
Shout
looked it up
out
and was like, it's Frank
To
Oz.
Frank
Yeah.
Oz.
So it was super funny because he did it, but yeah, Luis was like, "That's Miss Piggy." I'm like, you're not wrong, bro.
It's the.
Oh, Kermit.
It's also really
Do or do
weird.
not.
Like,
There is no try.
oh my gosh.
Stop
For
it.
all of our listeners, we watched the prequels before we've watched this. We're kind of doing like a marathon right now, both of us, both households. And so Yoda is like so cool in 1, 2, 3,
In
and
2, he's so good.
and I forget he's a freaking puppet in this one, and that I know he's putting on a front at first now,
Mhm.
but he's so annoying at first, and it's so hilarious. He's like, I take your food, I'm gonna destroy it. Ah!
He's like smacking R2 with his cane.
And Lucas, just give it to him, R2.
Apparently that was improvised. We watched the little documentary.
Yeah.
And that part where the puppet is messing with R2 and pulling out all the food and stuff like that, that was all just puppeteer improvisation.
Hilarious. I
Well,
love
he's
Yoda.
definitely complaining as if it was scripted. So
I love
Mark
Yoda.
Hamill's just a good complainer,
Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a professional whiner.
So they
He's
set-
like, "I'm not even acting. I'm just annoyed."
they set up camp, right? Yoda takes him to his house, and he's like, "Ooh, food! I make you food." And Luke is just still,
Not far,
like,
not far. Master Yoda close.
Not even like thankful for the hospitality.
That's what
He's
I'm
like,
saying. He's
I need
just
to go
disrespectful.
find Yoda, and he's like, "Wait, you do in the morning."
He's like spitting out food and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's being straight up rude. There's obviously no other life form on this planet. Like, you need to calm down.
This isn't Smeagol, dude. Like,
Till
calm
finally,
down.
Yoda is like talking to freaking vanished Obi-Wan, or no, I'm sorry, Qui-Gon.
No, it's Obi-Wan.
It's
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's the thing is that Luke
gets
is
a little confusing.
Luke is
sometimes.
definitely expecting to meet an Obi-Wan style dude
Yeah.
Yeah.
here.
Because he's so judgmental.
He's
he
like,
doesn't
all
know
right, I'm going to go to
anything
Dagobah. I'm going to
about
find
the
the bearded
Jedi,
white guy that's
and
going to
he's
teach me how to be a
being
Jedi.
disrespectful, quite honestly.
Yeah.
And so Yoda finally looks at Obi-Wan in the sky and is like, "I train him. I cannot. I can't do it."
patience he has.
Your master, Yoda. Yoda? Judge me by my size, do you? That's my favorite part. Judge me by my size.
Trained Jedi for hundreds of years, I have.
I'm old.
Yeah, so
True.
So yeah,
I'm sorry, Yoda's the best in this one.
turns
So
out Yoda
funny.
is a small, green, old man, and
Yeah, he's old.
he's
at
been
this
living
point.
on this planet in isolation for the past 20 25 years
He's
or
so
so.
done. He's like, I gotta train this fool. Are you serious, Obi-Wan?
I was
Right now.
done. I retired, dog.
Are you serious?
I will say though that Louis Scott was very cute. He got upset when Obi-Wan in the early vision, when they're still on Hoth, he says like, you need to go find my mentor. He doesn't use the word mentor.
Right, he says my master.
My master,
The one
you
who
go-
trained me in the Jedi
Yeah,
arts.
and Louise is like, Yoda didn't train him.
He might
Qui-Gon
have when he
Jinn
was a
trained him.
kid.
Nope, he didn't train him.
Yoda-
He did because Yoda trained all the younglings
trains all
in
the
the
younglings.
temple, and then so he was trained.
So
by
he's
Yoda.
everybody's master. He's Dumbledore.
Yeah.
My teacher when I was at Hogwarts.
Qui-Gon was Qui-Gon's apprentice,
Yeah,
but
his
everybody's
Padawan.
Yoda is everyone's master because
Right.
he teaches all the younglings.
He's the master of the
until
entire
they
Jedi
get
Order.
taken on as an apprentice.
You know?
It was really funny though too, because I was like trying to convince him. I was like, well, Yoda kind of like took him under his wing after Qui-Gon got gone.
That's true. He did.
You know?
He gave him
That's
some
also
training
true.
right before they went into
But
isolation
don't
as
you
well.
remember the scene in episode 3 where, or maybe it's 2, I don't know what episode it is, but they're going in and they're like, the map, it's not finished.
That's
I don't know
episode
where
2.
to go. Oh, episode 2.
Mhm.
And right, and all the younglings are there and he's asking them. So he's like,
He mentored him.
he's a wizard.
a planet, Master Obi-Wan.
Wizard.
How embarrassing.
I love you.
Yoda's great, man. So yeah, so he
He's so sassy.
he finally decides to that's the Miss Piggy in him. He finally decides to take he take on this new young Padawan. too old to begin the training.
Too old. Yeah, all of his excuses I love. He's
Yeah.
I cannot do it.
It's like he's trying to be in like the American Ballet or something. Too
Wow.
old.
And
They're doing a Misty
Turns-
Copeland on him.
it turns out they're doing American Ninja Warrior
Luke
because
is
the next
For
scene
sure.
Luke is
is-
getting real pissed too, though, because they're talking about him. He's like, "Just train me, come on, Obi-Wan, tell him." I'm like, "You knew Obi-Wan
Tell him.
for 2 days. You need to calm down. Obi-Wan's not on your side. He's only thinking about destroying Darth Vader."
Right. Well, yeah, for
We
sure.
don't know that, but
From the
you know.
grave.
Yeah, basically. Get him.
Get him.
He made me fight on that lava planet. I
Oh,
don't
what
like
did
him
you
anymore.
say? It's like American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, it's like
next with the
American Ninja
rocks.
Warrior because
Oh
My
my
favorite is
God.
when he's running and Yoda's on his back. I want him to be like, faster.
he's got a little Indiana Jones whip.
Yeah.
Come on,
Smacking Luke's butt. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, it's training montage. Throw on some Rocky music because it's going down. Luke takes his shirt off. He's out there.
Da-da-da.
He's lifting rocks and he's falling
Jedis,
over.
We lift rocks. Jedi's flipping in the swamp. That's how it goes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So he's flipping rocks. He's running through the streets. The streets of Dagobah.
With his
And,
woes. You know how it goes.
And Yoda's just like not impressed. He's like, bro, you're not getting it. I don't know if this is gonna work out. And I don't know how long it's been. Like it seems like this is all happening on the same day, you know?
It seems like it, but I think time has passed.
Right. I think
Like a week,
time
maybe.
is passing.
So I think you need to explain this. So there's a couple different things happening in this particular part of the movie, but I need you to explain when he goes into the dark forest part of the Dagobah.
Okay, so this is like
it's just like episode 7.
it's a Jedi peyote trip, right? So
Yeah.
they're like, go out there, have your vision quest, and then come back and you'll be wiser for it.
Yeah.
You don't need your weapons because everything out there is not even real. But
Like
like,
some acid and.
but
you know.
yeah, basically. But
But it's kind of confusing because even though it's not real, like
It-
would Darth Vader have like killed him in this?
Right.
Not
There's-
It's
there's
like
some-
a force vision.
there's some realness happening there. So he's
he like fights him.
he's going
in
out
this
there
fakeness.
and he's having a force vision, and this vision is kind of alluding to the fact that he is Darth Vader's son, right? Because he faces off with his true enemy. And then when he defeats him, he cuts off Darth Vader's head, and it pops out, and it's Luke's face. And it's like, what does this mean? so it's
It
all.
would have been even better if it was Leia's face. That would have been even better.
Crazy. There is another. So yeah, I would say that it's like it's more of a vision. Like I fully believe that Luke physically walked into the swamp, pulled out his lightsaber, and swung it, but there was
Sure.
nothing else
He's
there.
just
for him
seeing
to-
visions.
for him
Yeah.
to fight.
Is there something similar to Harry Potter where they're seeing visions?
Harry Potter.
I don't know.
I mean, like not like that.
Not like
It'd
a
be like
pensieve or anything, but-
yeah, pensive mirror of Erzed type of
thing.
type of stuff.
It's like a vision. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a trippy vision, and Yoda can sense it too. And he's like,
Face off against the dark side. You cannot. So yeah. It's his battle against the darkness, and if he will succumb to that darkness or not, I think is the point of the
Jedi
vision.
Masters love to not tell apprentices things, though.
Yeah, they love
like
keeping
that's a common
secrets.
theme in Star Wars, and I'm like, oh, Yoda, you want to tell him what the heck just happened?
You don't tell him what that meant
I'd be
or
like,
anything.
I would have gone to him and been like, so I just saw something trippy, but
Hey, guess what? Problem solved. I just chopped off Darth Vader's head. We're done. It's over. We can stop
but it was
training now.
not me, so I don't really know what happened. I guess I got a twin. You know,
I'll be killing my dang self.
yeah. And so the next scene, the next day, he's trying to lift rocks and he's not doing a good job. And so Yoda tells him,
I thought he was doing a really good job, but apparently not.
not
Stacking
really.
them and
He's
everything?
just tired. He's just like overworked,
Mhm.
underpaid. I don't know. So
Definitely underpaid.
So
But
Yoda
then he gets
tells him,
another vision.
well, Yoda tells him to do his shippy thing. He's like, get that ship out of that
Out of that swamp.
And he's like, oh, it's too heavy. I can't
Literally.
do it. And Yoda's
Mark Hamill
like,
was probably the worst teenager ever.
and Yoda's like,
Mom.
huh, watch me. And he does it.
Back up.
Do
Okay.
or do
Hold my
not.
cane. Okay.
There is no try.
It's really cool. He pulls the entire X-wing out of.
I wish he would have just
Out of the
knocked Luke over with it. Like if he had just like dropped it on his head or something.
I mean, after seeing like episode 2 and stuff where he's so cool, he's like making buildings fall down. All I could think is like he's so old now. He's like, this is hard. Poor Yoda.
Fun fact about the movie: apparently, that shot to get the X-wing out of the swamp was like crazy difficult to get because they kept making the X-wing out of like plywood or whatever and dipping it in water, and so every time they tried to pull it out, it would just fall apart. They'd have to take a couple hours to
plywood
rebuild it,
sucks.
try it again. It took a couple of
It should
couple
be
of
something
tries.
different.
But yeah, I think eventually they got some Gorilla Glue or something and made it work.
That's hecka funny.
So yeah, so you're right. Luke has another vision,
Mhm.
and it is of his friends in mortal peril, which they apparently are.
Which is funny because at this point, I did think this is Harry Potter
Mhm.
because there's been multiple times in the Harry Potter universe where we see Harry and Voldemort like sharing thoughts and
Right,
memories
having dreams
and dreams and stuff. And so I thought to myself, because I couldn't remember exactly what happened, I was thinking to myself like, Darth Vader is projecting.
setting a trap.
Yeah, he's like projecting his visions or whatever on.
Episode 7.
Mhm.
Wait, 8.
Yeah, that'd be episode 8.
Eight.
But yeah, and I think I don't think
Which is
that's
possible.
too dissimilar from what is actually happening because
It is kind of a trap.
even though it's
We don't know who really set him that trap with the vision. It could have been Sidious.
right,
Most
that's the
likely.
thing,
It was
'cause
most likely
Darth
Sidious.
Vader, I don't think he has those kinds of machinations. He definitely wants to get Luke, but he's trying to draw him there by
And
just
Sidious
attacking
wants
Han.
Luke
and
there because he's like, maybe he's stronger than
I think
this fool.
Sidious definitely could have been the one to
Yeah.
implant.
Did
that.
they call him that in this movie?
Yeah.
Do they say it in Empire?
They don't call him Sidious? Or do
Well,
they just call him the Emperor?
He is the Emperor, and he's known as Emperor Palpatine,
Palpatine.
because
Yeah.
he rose up through
Oh,
the
yeah.
Senate.
In these movies,
and
he's
gained
called
his power.
Emperor Palpatine. I just say Sidious because I like it better.
No, for sure.
Uh,
It sounds insidious.
I don't know.
You know how
I don't
long
know
it
if they
took you to explain to me that Palpatine and Sidious were the same person? I was like, what are you talking about?
He just gets older and creepier.
Yeah, older and creepier.
Like when we started watching the first
More
movies,
ugly.
like I'd never seen the prequels. It was episode 1, and he was like, "Oh, so that's Emperor Palpatine," and I was like, "What?" But I thought you're like, yeah, it's the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks much better back then.
He played the same guy in the OGs and the prequels.
Yeah, it's the same actor.
It's pretty cool. he was a young guy, and they put old face makeup on him, and then they did the prequels, and they're like, guess what? You're the right Palpatine age now, buddy.
No, you
Right.
could just be you.
So the vision is that his friends are in danger. So he's like, I need to go save them. And both Yoda and Obi-Wan, Force Ghost Obi-Wan, are like, you're not done with your
Force
training.
Ghost
This
Obi-Wan.
is a pivotal moment in your training. If you leave now, you'll turn to the dark side.
You'll turn
you
to the
don't
dark
have
side.
enough power, Luke.
You can't face Vader.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Like, okay, so Luis did not know. The kids were up. I know this because every time he came on screen, Addie would be like, "Oh, Kenobi on my Kenobi," and she calls him that, I think, because because in
Obi-Wan
epis-
Kenobi. is good
because in episode 4 when Leia's like, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope." I think she thinks she's saying Kenobi on my Kenobi.
That's his full name. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Kenobi, Kenobi.
So now every time she sees him, she's like, "Oh, where's Kenobi on my Kenobi?"
That's close enough to Obi-Wan Kenobi because that's
pretty
a
close.
long name.
That's pretty good. That's so funny. Kenobi, my Kenobi.
So when this part happens, "Oh, Kenobi on my Kenobi." No, don't go, Luke. No. Get to
love
Mordor,
her.
Luke.
Listen,
Go.
listen to them. So yeah, Luke hops in his X-wing and he flies off to Cloud City. And
Oh, yeah.
and Yoda talks to Obi-Wan for a split second. He's like, "Well, there goes our last hope." And then Yoda's like, "There is another."
So this part is good. Like if we're flashing back, now we're gonna go back to Han and Leia, right?
Mhm, yes.
So they're leaving in the trash, and
They get followed by
Leia
Boba
is like,
Fett.
"Where can we go?" And it's like we're in the middle of nowhere, and he's like, "I know one place." This guy, Lando Calrissian. I don't think he says guy. I think he calls him like swindler or something like that.
I think he says like, "Oh, Lando." And she's like, "The Lando system." Like, no, it's not a system. He's a guy.
person. And she's like, "Do you trust him?" And he's like, "No."
No, but he's no friend of the Empire. So let's head on over there, and
Yeah.
he'll give us a warm welcome.
I
It'll
love
be fine.
Lando.
Would
He's
you,
so good. With all his capes.
Bro.
Dude.
Lando is fitted, okay?
He is. You know what's really funny is when we watched Solo, my mom could not wait to see Lando because she was like, "Oh, Lando." Like she must remember him just from like the day. She's like,
Oh,
"Oh
yeah.
that Lando."
I don't
Yeah.
know how that was smooth. That was pretty like that was pretty date. The way he was behaving is pretty much
Well,
like
yeah, because he sees
yeah.
he sees Leia and is like,
Oh.
Hello.
Hello.
and
Hello.
Like
Just 'cause he
Han's face
sees
behind
her.
him is
Who are
like,
you?
with
Like,
his
bro,
giant
this is
eyeballs.
my girl.
Welcome to the city in the clouds. I'm the captain here. Check it out.
Check it out.
Look at it. This facility
Chickadee
is
chick,
mine.
chick,
All
check
right.
it out.
The dude you came here with, he's in a hunk of junk. All right. I just wanted you to point some things out. All right. I'm Lando.
I like how when they're like, and he's like, "Oh, and I told you I never wanted to see you again," and he was kind of like,
Me?
"Oh, me." I know he really does talk his way out of everything.
Good
Huh?
God, yeah.
But Lando embraces him and invites them all in. And it's cool because they're like old buddies or whatever, and they're reminiscing, and he's like, "Yeah, we do stuff under the table here a little bit in Cloud City, but the Empire leaves us alone for now, and as long as nobody snitches, then everything's cool."
They gonna be getting stitches.
Yeah, some stitches are coming. So he puts them up. They're kind of chilling in Cloud City for a little while. Let's assume that it's been like a week, right? And Luke has been training in Dagobah, and they're hanging out on Cloud City.
And they're supposed to be fixing the
hyperdrive.
The hyperdrive on
On the Falcon.
The Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
The Falcon.
The Falcon. So, as they're getting there sitting pretty, C-3PO is walking around. He's like, "Hey, what's going on over here?" And he walks into the wrong room because he's an idiot, and he gets blasted and blown up. And it's like, what just happened? What is going on? Chewie finds him. He has to start like putting them together.
I love Chewie so much.
"You put my head on backwards, you dunderhead. What's wrong with you?" As Chewie is like putting him back together, they get like invited to dinner with Lando,
which is Emily's favorite scene of this movie.
It's really cool because Lando's like, as long as everything here stays the way it is, I just made a deal that's gonna really skyrocket me into success. And then he opens the door, and Han and Leia walk in, and it's Darth Vader sitting at the end of the dining table.
I think the best part of this is just the visual aesthetic of the scene, because everything in Cloud City, besides Lando, not in a weird way, but everything is just very white and clean.
It's like
and
what I assume Apple headquarters looks like.
Probably, exactly. And then they open this like white electric door, and Darth Vader is sitting there blackening this entire like white table.
Yeah,
it's just so beautiful. It's
Not
just
only with this color, but with his, aura as well. So.
Yeah, there's darkness in this room, and
the Force is dark over
and
there.
Han.
It's almost like getting invited into an intervention. Like they're like, "What is going on?"
We need to talk to you about some things. But Han, give him credit where credit is due. He pops off and pulls his blaster out immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, snap! Darth Vader! Pew, 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 pew,
Yeah,
pew.
he's ready to pop a cap.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was trying to shoot him in the head.
He ain't asking no questions. He's just like,
Shoot first, ask questions later.
That's right.
And the question is, how did you take my gun out of my hand like that? Because Darth Vader blocks all the blaster bolts with the Force and then just pulls the gun away. Very cool. Boba Fett, he's slickety slick. He comes out from behind and he's like, guess what? I followed you, suckers. And
Here's my question, though.
Yeah.
Is spoiler, whatever.
Sure,
it was
sure.
in the 80s, people.
Mhm.
I feel like if he really is that good of a Jedi or has that much Force power,
Mhm.
why wouldn't he be like, there's somebody else in this room that I should have some Force power with?
Wait, regarding, like Leia?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I would
she
say,
hasn't
go ahead.
used the Force.
Right, that's what I was about to say. Is that
Okay.
she
Until
the end of this movie?
okay.
Her Force abilities, even though she and Luke are twins, have not blossomed as Luke's have, and even his, they didn't come about until he actually trained with Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Like he was unaware of them as well. But he's a very good pilot, and she's very smart and
She's like diplomatic.
and stuff like that. Like they're using the Force in very latent ways, like even less than homie in Rogue One with I'm the one with the Force is the one with me.
Yeah.
Less than that, but it's still there. But yeah, not enough for Darth Vader to think like, hey, what's going on here? My power levels are rising. It's over 9,000 in here.
His radar.
Yeah, my Force dar is going off.
Does she use the Force in this movie?
So at the end, when Luke is calling for help, he's like,
Oh,
he's
you
like,
right.
Ben. And Ben's like, I'm dead, dude. I can't do anything for you. And
Yeah.
he's like, Leia. And she hears him, even though her
Yeah.
ship is far away. So that's her first use of the Force. I think.
I would say so.
Yeah, I believe that's it.
I like how you do through your memory. That was
Yeah,
good.
I mean, I was trying to think if there was any other instance where she would have, but she didn't take out any of those Minox in the cave or anything like that. No. So
Okay.
So yeah,
You're right.
I think
Okay,
that's
that
her
makes
using
sense
the
to me
Force.
now.
So they get captured, right? And then Han is sent to the torture chamber or whatever. And it's crazy because they putting him in this big old machine. They're putting all the torture devices on him. And then the next time we see him, he comes out. He's looking all sad and dreary and weary and whatnot. And he's like, they didn't even ask me any questions. They just tortured me just to torture me. And I don't know why Darth Vader did that. I guess he was just having a fun day. He's like, I caught him. Buzz, zap,
He's like,
zap.
oh, you cuter than me? I'm about to get you. You
Whatever.
want to see what my face
I
looks
used to
like,
be
bro?
cute too. Let's burn your face. How about that?
Let's talk about my Hayden Panettiere days.
Hayden Panettiere.
Wrong person. No.
That's the girl from Hero.
That's not his name?
Hayden. Oh goodness, now I can't remember. Hayden Christensen. Thank you.
It's the same thing. Who's Hayden Panettiere then?
First
She's
off,
like a blonde
she's
little-
a little blonde, like
Oh, it's a
4
girl?
foot
Yeah.
11.
Mhm.
Totally not Darth Vader height.
Yeah, not as tall.
Oh, FYI, every time Darth Vader said more than 2 words,
Mhm.
I literally couldn't think of anything other than Mufasa. Like when he monologues for just even a sentence,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, oh my god, it's
Oh
Mufasa,
snap! Mufasa is in the building.
making him much more menacing.
Yeah, straight up, scary Mufasa, scary Fasa.
Scarfasa.
So they're getting they're all in like a holding cell, and Lando comes in, and they're like, Lando, how could you do this to us? You betrayed us. They start trying to fight him and stuff like that. And Lando's like, it was the best I could do. You know, you're going with Boba, and Leia and Chewie get to stay here with me. And that's that. They got here right before you did. I don't know what you wanted me to do. I had to turn you over.
And I won't lie, I forgot that part of it. So I was like
Mad
mad
at
too.
Lando.
I was like, Lando, come on,
do
bro.
that, man?
Like, that's just rude. You called on them.
It's homie Han.
So
Call the
rude.
police.
Called
But
the
no, but the
he
police.
called the popo.
The Popo showed up, and
Did you make yourself some coffee? I thought you were I thought you were getting orange juice, and then you came back with coffee. I was confused.
time to pipe up. So Vader and the troopers attempt to take them to. No, they do take them.
They all end up in this chambery thing that we're not
Yes.
really sure what it's gonna do yet.
They wind up in a chamber, and
when Han gets tortured.
yeah, well, right after
Yeah,
Han
we
got
did that.
tortured. They wind up in this chamber, and they're taking Han because
gotcha.
Bobo wants him, and
Bobo?
Bobo.
Bobo.
The deal was-
wants him.
No, wait, what is that guy's name from Descendants? Is Boo Boo?
Who?
Boo Boo Fett. Boo Boo Stewart.
Oh, Boo Boo
Stewart.
Stewart. Oh yeah, Boo Boo.
Fett.
Boo Boo Fett.
The homie. The
His
deal
name
that
is actually Boo Boo Stewart. I can't.
the deal that Boba made with Vader was that like he's here for Han, and he's just here to take him back to Jabba's palace.
He's
Right?
like, I took your job because I have another job,
Right, I got another. This is my second job right now.
and I am not afraid to be force choked by you.
At all, apparently.
I got this armor.
It's pretty cool, right? It's green. So he tells Vader that like, hey, whatever this thing you're about to put him in is, it better keep him alive because Jabba's paying me a lot of money to bring him back alive. And Vader's like, dude, whatever, I don't care. I'll pay you triple if he dies. Who cares? It's just Han Solo. I couldn't give any less of a rat's butt. You know what I'm saying? That's how you don't curse on the show.
I didn't curse this time. It was them.
That's right.
Excuse you, them.
Squeeze
I could
me.
just drink all that coffee you just brought over here.
I think not.
Anyway,
A rat's butt.
Han is going in to carbonite freeze.
At least I tell you before I do it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Carbonite.
They're freezing them in carbonite, which is not something that they normally do to humans. They're putting other kinds of stuff in here, like chemicals and stuff.
Wasn't it like they used it to freeze like their product? to
Yes,
send
that,
it to-
this whole planet is a mining colony, and they mine this. I think it's a gaseous material, and
Besides minding their own business.
that's right. that's the slogan under Lando's name.
We out here
we out here
minding
minding our own business.
Mind your business.
with the D.
Yes.
Business.
So yeah, they're normally putting gas in here and solidifying it so that they can sell it. But now they're putting a human person in there, and
A human person.
and Chewie's getting mad. They tell him to calm down. C-3PO is still in pieces. Leia is like, oh, I'm feeling all these feelings now. I was denying them before, but I feel them. She goes,
Nice smoochies.
I love you. And he goes, I know, girl.
Okay, the first time I saw this movie and he said, I know, I was like, whatever, bro. Like, I thought that was like...
You lucky you getting a third movie, Han.
Yeah.
It's
And like
smooth.
that was the only Han moment where I was like, are you for real, homie? You just said, I know, and you've been pining over her for like ever.
That's
Yeah.
the thing is that he does know. He's like, I told you earlier in the movie that I knew you had feelings for me, and now I'm right. I love you.
Even on his deathbed, he's
I
a
know.
turd.
Yeah, he would rather be right than
Then professors
Yes.
love back.
I say that as Andre and I have mugs that say "I love you, I know" on them.
Yeah, they're our coolest mugs.
They're pretty cool.
So yeah, apparently, Harrison Ford was of the opinion that for how powerful this movie is, Han should definitely die. Han should not make it out of this movie. That's how he wanted it to end. He was like, George, kill me off, write me off, please get me out of this. I don't want to do it anymore.
Because he didn't want to be on a million movies.
No, yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's not that he didn't want to be in a million movies. He loves acting, and I think he genuinely loves this character of Han Solo.
Yeah.
But he was saying for the power of the movie, you should kill Han Solo. And so George was like, nah, I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. But I think he finally gave in and allowed it to be a part of the cliffhanger. Han's fate. You know, they put him in this carbonite. They're like, we don't know if he's going to survive or not, and I guess we won't find out till the next movie.
No, that's not even true. You found out in that movie that he was fine because the thing fell over and they told Lando to check it.
They checked it.
And he was like, oh, I'm getting a signature. And then 3PO was like, oh, he's in carbonite. He'll be quite safe in that. So I already knew he wasn't going to die.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how do you get someone out of carbonite?
Right.
I don't know that. But I knew
You
he
gotta
was
reverse carbonite him.
First carbonite.
Okay.
Science with Lou.
Yeah, reverse carbonite.
Science.
I feel like I'm saying carbonara. Reverse carbonara.
carbonara.
So.
It's called genetics.
I'm done with you.
So genetics. Darth Vader is banking on the fact that putting Luke Skywalker's friends in danger is going to draw Luke to this planet, and he's completely right. Luke rolls up. He starts sneaking around in his outfit.
Nobody can see you.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, he's sneaking.
I wish you guys could see Andre.
He's
right
got
now.
his little gun. And
He's got his shoulders in his ears, and he's got his little gun.
Actually, it looks like he's going on a
No, you should have
brisk
played
walk.
the Pink Panther song.
That's the song I was trying to sing. I messed it up. Luke walks through there.
Steve Martin walks through.
He faces off with Boba Fett for a hot sec. Trades some blaster bolts
Pew, pew.
with him. He makes his way into the.
And Leia yells, "Oh, Luke,
it's a trap! It's a trap, Luke!"
And I've been saying it's a trap ever since. Well, hers, but then also it's a trap.
Yeah, that's the next movie.
Yeah.
Akbar.
I like Akbar.
Luke makes his way to the carbonite freezing room. It's all empty in there. It was all just full of life not 2 minutes ago.
Carbonara.
No carbonara at all.
Oh, I have to say this because I forgot to say it earlier.
Oh, yes.
What is the commander? I'm so sorry. I'm going back to the beginning of the movie. I forgot. What is the commander's name at Hoth? The guy who's giving all the directions everywhere.
Let me see here. I'm trying to figure. Was it General Veers?
Anyways, dude sounds like Captain Gibble.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Describe
Describe
this dude.
Side?
Yes.
Resistance.
Yeah,
He
the one
sounds
that
like the
the
fish
one that
guy.
was like, well, hon, it's been good.
It's been swell.
That's the fish guy.
I think it's
The one who was down. Like, don't even. You need anybody to swing? I'm there, homie.
Yeah, the guy who got the
the
Death
fish
Star
guy?
plans.
Yeah, Gibble Captain.
so.
Well, that guy was dead.
No.
And this guy's a
he
human, but
sounds
you're saying he
like him.
sounds just like him.
Oh.
Yeah, Luis was convinced it was the same guy.
It's either General Veers or Captain Nita. I think it's Captain Nita. Let me
Oh,
see.
Captain Nita. Yeah. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
Captain
yeah,
Nita.
yeah. It's
Not so much that it was the same guy, but the same voice actor. That Luis was like, "Oh no,
Captain
that's the gibblefish."
Is it the same voice actor? That'd be kind of cool. But
That's a lot of years later.
but yeah, it's a lot of years later, and I don't know
40 years later.
that this dude, played by Michael Culver, he was born in 1938.
Mike
It's
Culver.
definitely not.
Although it doesn't say that he's
You mean
passed
Luke
away,
Cage?
but he definitely did not. He was not in Rogue One, according to his IMDb.
Wasn't the fish there in...
Different fish.
So it's a different fish, yeah.
there was... One of those fishes was a fighter.
He's
Yeah, it's a different fish.
yeah.
Like, you know how there's multiple
It's a race.
Chewbacca
Yeah.
races?
The race
Wookiees?
is Mon Calamari,
But they
and
all sound the same.
Calamari?
the Mon Calamari.
Well, then maybe the Mon
mhm.
Calamari sound the same. All the Chewbacca sound the same.
From
The
The
Wookiees.
Wookiees.
I like that
Chewbacca.
one.
Yeah, Admiral Akbar is the one from the OG trilogy.
He's the, it's a trap.
And then Admiral, we just said it in the
Gibble?
Rogue One episode. Yeah, Admiral Gibble. that's definitely not his name, but he looks like the Pokemon Gibble.
And then one of them flies. He's a rogue person.
Yes, and then there's
Red
there's
leader,
one that's a pilot,
Blue leader,
I believe.
green leader.
Gold leader.
Yeah, I don't know how you fly with
Black
crab claws
leader.
or whatever, but be gripping that steering wheel
Rainbow
real hard.
leader, sparkle leader,
Luke winds up in
Glitter leader?
the
pastel
Rainbow
leader.
Princess leader.
Follow the leader.
I'm the leader.
Leader.
Okay. Luke is in the room
Tie-dye leader.
I'll have you know
With-
later.
with the carbonite, and guess who
Carbonara.
shows up? It's your daddy. It's
He
Darth
doesn't know
Vader.
it's his daddy.
But it is regardless. Okay.
I think I just appreciate how in every Star Wars movie there has to be some mini chase scene into a cosmic chamber. Not a chamber, but
Somewhere where they could fall.
like a mine shaft where they have to
it's this
die till their
gigantic
death.
chasm that has no railings whatsoever. Like, why aren't there no railings?
and no doors. I would never walk out onto that platform ever, ever, ever.
He was in turmoil. Okay, so anyways, we get a fight scene.
No, but I mean,
right?
like, people work there.
Oh yeah.
Workplace
Yeah,
safety,
the maintenance
Lando.
dudes.
Darth Vader's a little mad because he tried to trap Luke in the
He's a little
carbonara,
mad.
and it didn't work, and Luke hopped out.
Luke
of there.
hopped out. He did
He
a
went,
force jump.
"Whee!"
And he's like,
and then
impressive.
most impressive.
most impressive.
And then it's a and then wait, let's do it. Ready?
You got to do that up to your mouth.
Yeah, you're not doing it.
And there's no music during the scene, so like every 10 seconds you hear just like his breath.
Mhm.
I can't do it very good either.
Do you think Mufasa like did that breathing?
That he had that
Yeah,
breathing problem too. Mufasa with a little respirator on his lion chest.
He definitely did. There's
His
a lot
mane.
of flipping and flying and flinging and flonging of the sabers.
This is a cool fight. I mean, it's definitely still of the 70s, 80s era.
But I will say,
It's much better than the
because
Obi-Wan Darth
we
Vader
have
fight.
seen Rogue One,
Yeah.
I will say it.
Mhm.
I never thought Darth Vader was that scary
Right.
in the original movies. I
Mhm.
was like, Kylo Ren's way scarier than Darth Vader to me.
Sure.
Like, for sure. Until Rogue One happened, and I was like, yo, Darth Vader is messed up. He's crazy.
Mhm.
So, like, watching these ones again, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's Darth Vader. Like, he's not evil enough. Like, there's not enough
There's
for
not
me
enough
to
menace.
be, like, very terrified of him.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, he did blow up a whole planet, but it's fine.
right.
But for some reason, it didn't
Why
seem
isn't
as
he
scary.
force choking Luke? Like,
Well, that's the thing is
He
that
already knows it's his son.
not his mission to kill Luke. His mission from the Emperor is
It's to
to
kinda train him.
turn him to the dark side.
Yeah.
you're right.
He could
That's
be
why
a
he's like,
powerful
"Ooh,
ally.
Good.
Impressive.
Strike me down.
Most impressive. Yes.
Use
your anger.
Use your anger. Search your feelings. I swear to God, if they say search your feelings one more time.
Look in there, man.
Search my feelings. My feelings say I'm hungry.
Documents,
You still hungry?
feelings.
No, I'm just saying in general.
Oh.
If I searched my feelings, it would be
I
like
feel
"Sh-
hunger. So yeah, they're fighting hardcore. They wind up out on that.
They're parkouring too. Parkour.
They are parkour. I mean, he's Darth Vader does like a little fly move. He's like, he stretches his arms out. It's funny.
Oh, like whenever he gets hurt, it doesn't look that bad. to
Like
me.
a
He just
Brian McKnight song might pop up. I believe I can fly.
That's R. Kelly.
No, it's not. Don't tell me.
It is.
It
No,
is.
it's not.
Mhm.
I went
You sure it's
and
not Brian
peed on the
McKnight?
sky.
No, it's Brian McKnight, homie.
It's not Brian McKnight. I'm
It's
It's
sorry.
not R.
not.
I'm
Kelly.
so sorry to
It
inform you.
is.
I
The
believe
song is canceled. Canceled.
I can fly.
I believe.
It's a 1996 song written and performed by American singer-songwriter, record producer, and former semi-professional basketball player R. Kelly. I didn't know about the semi-professional basketball player
What
either.
the hell?
Basketball
Who did you
player.
play for?
We don't have time for this.
We don't
What in the
have
world?
time for R. Kelly.
So Luke is fighting Darth Vader, the scariest Force user in the galaxy, and
Apparently.
And
There-
R. Kelly pops.
I believe it's in the background.
fine.
They're
They're flinging and flonging.
they're flinging.
Luke is really scared. He's out of breath, and he goes on that thing Emily's talking about. This
Mhm.
really skinny
This
ledge that's
scary
like
platform.
1 foot wide. there's barely a handle that you can hold on to, and he's like, and then what happens?
Their
His
lights.
arm gets
Their
chopped off.
lightsaber fight again. Darth Vader gets the upper hand, literally, and slices that
Hand.
hand
His
off.
hand.
Yeah.
Well, it's like to his forearm. Like
it's like
it's
right.
like halfway
It's like
through
right to his wrist.
no, it's like here.
Mm. Okay.
I mean, that's a 3-inch difference.
That's more than 3 inches.
It looked like it was just his hand. But
Okay, I don't know. The point is,
Slices off his hand.
it got okay, this is where I really can't take Mark Hamill's acting.
this is the
Okay.
best acting he does in the whole movie. He's very
Hell
emotive.
no.
He's finding out some crazy information, okay?
Yeah, but why? Okay.
Obi-Wan
No!
never told you about your
I'll,
father.
yes. Obi-Wan told me enough. Then what?
He told me you killed him. That's a great line.
You killed him. Yeah.
No, I am your father.
No, let me do it. No, no.
People can't see your freaking face, which is really the best part of that. Look at Luis's face laughing.
He says it 3 times, like a little one. Like the way he says it, no, like sounds like a witch. I'm melting.
It's not true.
Not true.
It's impossible.
No.
Search your feelings.
You'll know it too.
Look past the hungry ones. You know it to be true. Join me, and we can rule the galaxy as
never
father and
join.
son.
And he pretty
I'll
much
never
said, like,
join
didn't he
you.
say, like, we kill some Palpatine up in here?
He said, join me and we can rule the galaxy as father and son. Not father and son and my boss,
He
okay?
just says father and son.
So, yeah, the plan is to overthrow.
And so this
We
is the
gonna
best
kill
part.
It's
some
not
people.
gonna be 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
The best part is that Luke is so upset that he just jumps off the balcony.
Luke is not having it at all.
He's like, F this, I'm out.
He's like, I don't even want to listen to anything else you're saying, dude, okay? I don't like hearing that hot breath come out of your respirator. I'm getting out of here. So he jumps down this gigantic 3,000-foot chasm or whatever. He's like,
It was
bye.
his way of storming out to his room.
Yeah. He slammed the
He
door.
slammed the door in Daddy's face.
So he slides down there. He uses the force a little bit.
This was ridiculous. Okay, the way he, like,
I was
falls.
like, okay, this is not a slip and slide. This is in the park. You would be dead, homie. And Andre was like, that's a force fall. I was like,
using
I
the
don't
force.
know what's a force
He's
fall.
using the force. He's pushing him to the slide.
Force fall.
It's
Shut
force fall.
up.
Freaking force fall.
It's a force fall. You do it in the video games. Like, and then you land right where you want to land, you know?
What is he, Batman with a cape? This is ridiculous.
That's what the force is. It's Batman's cape. So he
And then he's like, oh yeah, he slides out the trash chute, right?
Yeah, this
and he's
is like a-
on the thing, and it's just ridiculous because he's like, because he has no abs and no arms, so he can't
only
get
has
himself
one arm.
up.
He's got abs.
You
We saw him flipping and flying all
ain't
over
got no abs.
Dagobah.
He should have done
and
more.
then he's all mad. He's like, Obi-Wan, why didn't you tell
Why
me?
didn't you tell me? Obi-Wan.
Because you can't handle the truth, bro.
Well, yeah, obviously.
You ain't mature, bro.
We're making it more funny than it is because we've seen it a lot.
He's like,
No,
bro,
I'm
you're
pretty
a,
sure it was funny.
you were a farmer. I wasn't going to tell you anything.
I think one of the things I can't wait
that was
for.
need to know information.
Wait, did Addie watch this?
And
Yeah.
you didn't need to know that information.
So did she act shocked when it was his father? What did she say?
I don't think she understands.
She's
that.
not
get
quite
that
there
far.
yet. Okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh,
Right. wasn't
That's
I've
his
seen like
dad?
reaction
OG
videos of parents showing their like
Uh-huh.
7 or 8 year olds this movie, and their faces on the couch are just like open mouths, like
Are you
what?
serious? He's the bad guy, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he's the bad guy.
So
Yeah.
Luke is
Yeah.
down there. He's calling out to Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's like, did not receive, you know.
He said if you go, I won't be able to help you anymore.
Obi-Wan left him on red for sure. And so instead he calls out to Leia. He's like, Leia, I know Han's frozen, so you're my last hope or whatever. And she
Yeah,
hears
what
it.
did they do? They got Han, put him on the ship, and then Lando's driving them away, right?
Yeah, Lando, Chewie, and Leia are on the Falcon with
Mhm.
busted
And
C-3PO.
R2.
With C-3PO.
And R2. Yeah, they had made an escape later because Lando helped them. He's like,
Yeah,
let's
he
take
helped
these
them,
guns
and
away
Darth
from the
Vader was
stormtroopers.
definitely preoccupied with his son.
Right,
so.
exactly. So they get out of
Daddy
there.
issues.
And I guess Lando's abandoned his entire mining colony. He's like,
He
bye-bye.
tells everybody, he's like, so we've been taken by the Empire. I'll suggest you leave now.
Dip out. Peace.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
Lando, out. And he left. So they're leaving. They're flying out of the atmosphere of this planet. And Leia's like, we have to go back. Luke's in trouble. We have to go back. And they go back. They pick him up. And at this point, Luke is on the ship. And he's like, Father. He's like already calling him dad, you know?
Father, I feel you.
Luke.
I feel
Father.
you.
Obi-Wan, why didn't you
Darth
tell me?
Vader. Wait, what song were we singing when he was like, I am your father?
I don't know.
I'll
I don't
figure
know,
it out.
but I'm
I'll
gonna be
figure it
singing
out.
that song now. Thanks, Michelle.
No, there was another one we were singing. I'll figure it
That
out.
we sang at the same time.
Yeah, we
I
did
can't
it.
remember
Do you
what it-
remember what it was?
I don't remember what
we
it
both
was.
looked at each other and said it, and we were like, and I don't remember what it was.
We had a married moment. It was fun.
Yeah.
So Luke has this force convo with his dad for a hot sec, and he's like, "Luke, come to me. Let's rule the galaxy. Don't forget. All right, bye-bye."
Bye.
They make their way back to the fleet, the
Leia
rebellion
kisses
fleet.
him on the lips again. Gross.
Well, he,
'Cause he's broken.
well, actually, that
Because
happened.
he's broken.
the real gross kiss happened earlier in the movie.
Yeah, that was.
Luke had gotten
Oh,
has gotten hurt, and so
yeah.
they put him in the back to tank. They pull him out, and Han's like, "I guess you're alive, huh? What's up with that?" And Leia's like, "Whatever, you're still alive. I'm not happy about it."
And then she kisses Luke.
kisses Luke
Oh,
on
yeah, and he
the,
does
on the mouth.
Like, nice.
Yeah,
To
he
make
like
him jealous.
puts his.
Luke is like, "Oh yeah, that was the best and only kiss I've ever had in my life."
Basically.
And Louise was like, "Ew, that's gross." I'm like, "There ain't no tongue. It's not that bad."
and they don't know, so it's like
They
whatever.
don't know, you know.
I mean, I don't have any siblings, so I really don't know. But like,
It's
there
not
ain't
that
no
bad.
tongue. It's okay.
No kissing is happening.
It was a spite. That was a spite kiss, not a love kiss.
Yeah, it was a jealousy kiss. But yeah, here I think she does plant another one on him towards the end, or maybe it's a cheek one.
Yeah,
because
she's like taking care of his arm.
Yeah, he gets back to the fleet. He gets an arm replacement. That was pretty quick, you know. And it's cool. It
It
looks
took it off the
looks
door.
fleshy and everything. They're
Mhm.
tapping at it, and you can see the electronics in his wrist. That was cool. And this is it. This is the end of the movie.
Oh,
We
I
see the
remember
fleet
what we
fly
sang
fly away. Yeah.
during that part where he's like, "Father, we did Papa, can you?"
I'm
Right
so
when
happy
he
you
did
remember
He's
that.
in the bed and he's like, "Father." We both went,
Papa, can you hear me?
If you don't know, that's from Yentl. Luis is just
Shaking his head
Shaking
into
his
the
head.
mic.
funny though.
he's shaking his head into the mic.
But he's also smiling.
Do you know what the "I Feel You, Joanna" song was from, Luis? Well, he didn't. She didn't say Joanna. She said Darth Vader.
I feel you.
I've never
Darth
heard that song.
Vader.
It's from Sweeney Todd and the Demon Barber of Fleet Street.
The demon.
That's what Darth Vader's do. He's like, "I freaking feel you, Luke, everywhere."
everywhere.
Yeah.
Drop
That
it,
was a
dog.
good one. I remember.
was
We
pretty
we
good.
were hecka laughing.
That's pretty good. And that is how the movie ends. It is it's quite satisfying for me, but generally fairly
Well,
unsatisfying
where did they
ending.
go
You don't
though? Did they go to another base or something? Or are they just on the,
the,
ship and
the,
it ends?
the fleet is in space because they escaped Hoth. They don't have a new base yet, so they're just
they're in
flying
space.
out.
That's
They're
right.
just
That's
chilling.
right. They
Yeah.
they're on the port.
They're
yeah,
on
that's
the
right. That's
rebellion.
right.
I found that very
Spaceship.
weird that like they're just chilling. Like
Yeah.
no one's gonna find you just hanging out.
Lando's got his ship back. He and Chewie are flying away on the Millennium Falcon. It's like, where y'all going?
Are you
It
done?
is. It's a cliffhanger. You know, it's a cliffhanger.
Michelle's
is.
ready to be done. She's singing the
No,
outro.
that's not. But I like the outro. So
Yeah.
Mm.
Go. Get it. Yeah.
Carol Baskin.
So yeah, one of the greatest
Shut the
one of the greatest
Front door.
cliffhangers. There you go. All right, dear. You're driving away our listeners. At the Walt Vault pod. Follow us before you go. Okay.
the Vart.
Right.
So, this movie, it
Louise.
Don't get me angry, or I will get you a veggie burrito.
Not a veggie burrito. That's an inside joke, listeners.
veggies. Okay.
Veggies.
Veggies.
According to
Veggies before
Wikipedia, this movie
Wow.
had a
like wedgie fries, you know, wedges.
This movie had a budget of $33 million, which is pretty
How
good.
I feel like that's a lot for the
And
time.
this is the
33.
first movie that George Lucas funded all by himself.
He funded it completely by
because
himself.
he wanted all the credit.
So for the
All
first
the credits.
for the first one, the budget was $10 million, and the studio was all over him basically the entire time. He had to get it done super quick. This time, and because of that, he made a deal where they got like all of the box office money, but he got all of the merchandising money, right?
Okay.
There was a lot of
he
merch.
made gangbusters
Yeah.
of just piles and piles and piles of money. So he funded this one entirely himself, this one and the sixth one, so that he could
a good
have
move.
the entire rights and take his time and do whatever
And
he
I mean,
wanted.
you could tell this was higher budget.
Yes.
Because I remember watching, A New Hope and being like, well, some of these special effects don't hold
Dude,
up
every
very
time like a door closes or like the lightsabers turn on, it's like
Oh.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
you guys aren't even watching the original version. Like
I
this
know.
is
Oh, yeah,
the
for
special
sure.
edition
I
that
know.
that we're seeing on
And
Disney
so,
Plus.
well, even this one, there was some stuff that was definitely added in,
Right.
like the way the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
like the ships look in the sky and stuff.
In the 90s, George Lucas went back in and added in a
Yeah,
bunch of CG
I
stuff.
mean, I don't blame him,
Right.
Because it wouldn't have held up completely. But it was still a smart move for him to fund it because you could already tell it was higher budget because there was multiple planets, multiple scenes,
Right.
you know, different things like
yeah,
that.
they split up the cast. There's a puppet, he's walking around. They, the way that they built Dagobah is like on risers, so like the floor is like 10 feet above the ground, right? And the puppeteer is underneath the floor so that he can move Yoda around the scene, the entire
Dude.
scene.
I love the Yoda puppet because his chin is so funny.
His chin.
Yes, he doesn't really have one, and so when he goes, it's like this like little side mouth thing, and his chin is like non-existent, it's just like me. Come on, you guys had to have noticed that. Am I the only one that looks out chins on everything?
I mean, I
I
guess
have never paid attention
guess
to chins
so.
more
No,
than
you
when
have to
you
find
talk.
where he's like this, like.
that's very funny.
Well, that makes sense as to why he hobbles. I thought it was because he was old, but it's really because the puppeteer is having
Man.
issues.
The Mandalorian is just taking over. You type in Yoda and Baby Yoda pictures just come up all over the place.
His name is Grogu.
Yeah.
You can't
that's-
get
that's
no
true.
old Yoda. It's all Grogu.
It's all Grogu's out here. Fresh
The
face.
name is Star Wars. The name is The Empire Strikes Back. And the name is Return of the Jedi, not 4, 5, and 6.
It's Grogu.
So if we're going to be giving Grogu his name and going by his birth name, then we're going to go with the birth name of the movies.
All right.
So no 4, 5, and 6.
Just
but-
for that, he's Baby Yoda. Again.
Excuse you, when you read the title on the movie now, they went back and changed it.
Yeah. It's Lucas, baby. This is his movie. He made this with his
just-
$33 million. You know what I'm saying?
He can,
He
do
can call it whatever he wants.
So how
Episode
much,
5.
Anyways,
how
it made
much
bank,
money did
I'm
episode
assuming.
5 make?
So
I'm
this
assuming it made
movie
bank.
ended up with a worldwide gross of $550 million.
Yeah, that is bank. Wasn't it in theater for like a year? You said.
Oh yeah, it was in theaters for an incredibly long.
So it was like
amount of time.
Infinity War
Be-
and stuff.
Well,
but
yes, Infinity War, but this existed like before VHS, so they couldn't.
so they just
couldn't
left them
release
open
it on.
longer, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
So it had
they
to be
couldn't.
out.
Oh, they couldn't release
couldn't
it.
release it
so
for
people
home
could
video.
only see it in the theaters.
Mhm.
So then, if they didn't see it in
You're
the
saying there
theaters,
wasn't VHS at this point?
I don't believe so. Let me see.
Let's be honest.
you
I feel like
sure?
Let me make
VHS
sure, let me
was
make sure.
so
around
then
since
how
the
did
1800s.
People, how did people watch this movie
How do people go back?
when it was
I mean,
not in the theater anymore?
it came out eventually. You know, it came out on Betamax and then on VHS and
Did you say
whatnot.
on Baymax?
Betamax. That was a
Betamax, but it's like a type of VCR
Yeah.
looking thing.
like. Do y'all remember HD DVD?
Yeah.
Right, it was like DVDs, and then right as Blu-rays were coming out, HD DVD was there as well, and they kind of competed for a while, but Blu-ray ended up winning.
I don't know the difference, and I don't want to talk about it
Okay.
because I'll get so confused.
Betamax
Bitcoin.
is the same for
Bitcoin.
VHS.
Bitcoin, no. I don't get it.
Let's see here. When the film debuted on
so
television, it was preceded by a second-person introduction by Darth Vader, framed as an interruption of the Earth broadcast by the Galactic Empire. The film was released on CED in 1984 and on VHS and Laserdisc several times during the 80s and 90s. So until 1984, you couldn't watch it without being in a theater, and it came out in
Wow.
1980.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
We're spoiled nowadays,
That's
man.
back in the day, yeah.
Oh my
man.
God!
Can you
for
imagine?
sure.
I can't.
Download
You're
this
telling
movie
me I
in
can't stream it.
4 minutes or stream it immediately.
You can't. You're telling me I can't stream it.
Impressive.
Well, what's its Rotten
Most
Tomatoes?
impressive. This movie on Rotten Tomatoes has a score of 94%.
How much did A New Hope have?
That's a great question.
Sorry,
It
I should have asked that
has
earlier.
92%. Yes.
I only know because I looked at the rankings of everything the other day.
Yeah. And the Return of the Jedi has an 82%, which is interesting. There's no critics' consensus for this movie, but people liked it.
They liked
Turns
it.
out. Oh, hey, here's a rotten review. That's interesting.
Mm.
This says, that story counts for less than gimmicks and characters less than both. might be judged from the lack of resonance in the one narrative revelation concerning Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. That's a review from 2019.
Yeah,
I feel like
you
people
can't
just like
watch
to use
it
big words.
nowadays.
Yeah.
And also,
big
like,
words.
if you don't know the history of the movie, it's stupid. Well, let's go ahead and vote on it. Wait, we didn't talk about our. What did you want to do? Favorite scene, least favorite scene?
Like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And most underappreciated character.
Well, did you have a favorite
Okay,
character?
well, my favorite scene is Yoda banging on R2 and just being a little turd. Okay, that's my favorite scene. And also my favorite character is also Yoda, and he's really funny in this one, even though he's a puppet.
Yeah. I would say that my favorite character in this movie is probably also Yoda. I think his reveal is really good, and he's
oh yeah, like
he's,
once he stops being silly.
right.
Yeah,
He's
it's
he's
good.
very silly, which is funny at first, and then he gets serious. Like, I cannot train him, and his voice is fantastic.
I love Yoda.
I love me
Mhm.
some Yoda. My least favorite character.
Oh, it's Luke.
I mean,
For me.
mine can't be Luke. It's not
Look.
Luke. It's impossible.
I don't dislike Luke.
I
But
guess
he's annoying.
My least favorite character is C-3PO by default. But
Oh, man,
but
that was,
I enjoy that shiny little annoying
Yeah,
piece of
me too.
garbage. And then most underrated character I think is Lando, because he gets a really bad rap because he does rat them out.
Okay, I know the most underrated
back.
character. Only because the last time we watched this movie, I was like, I think that dude is really cool, but no one's talking about him. And it was the dude that works for Lando who has a thing on his head, and you said he's like part computer. but
Lobot.
Lobot. Yeah, tell me about Lobot.
His name is
again.
Globot?
His name is Lobot.
Oh, I thought you said
L-O-B-O-T.
Globot. I was like,
That's when that they like made his brain into a computer or something.
Yes, I believe that's the
wow, Globot is like
backstory.
Glow-
cyborg.
Yeah, he's a cyborg.
Lobot, also by the nickname Lo, was a male human from the planet Bespin, that's Cloud City, who, with the assistance of his AJ-6 cyborg construct, was paid to run battlefield calculations for the Galactic Empire. So they hired him
He has like a computer brain.
to have a computer brain, and he processes information super fast and can detail out the
But he's
battle.
still a human.
So he's
sick.
Iron Man
Cyborg.
suit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's Jarvis.
Yeah, basically.
For sure.
That's
yeah.
legit.
Lobot's cool, you're right.
Yeah, Lobot's cool. I remember asking you,
Globot.
like, who the heck is that dude? And you're like, that's Lobot. And see, this is another thing, is they sold all the toys of the characters, but they don't really talk about them. So I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
So every character in these movies has a toy, and that toy has like the back of it has
Like a description?
on the box has a full description there, the character's history and
Yeah.
past and
That's
how
super
they
funny.
fit in. So
What about you, Emily?
Favorite scene is definitely when they walk in on Darth Vader dinner. That's fantastic.
On Darth Vader dinner.
Darth Vader
That
dinner.
is so good.
I really
That's a
like
good
that.
one.
Yeah.
I just like the way that it's shot and the colors and everything is just very stunning.
Mhm.
And favorite character would probably be Lando. I really like
He
him
is
in
funny.
this. And most underrated character would be Chewbacca. I think he's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he's a good side character. Least favorite character would be C-3PO. He's so annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It is amazing that
Good
they
Lord.
haven't shut him down completely yet.
Yeah. Go to sleep.
Lou,
Never tell me the odds.
Okay, so what are they again? Favorite scene?
sure, your
Favorite
favorite
scene.
scene.
When they're gonna carbonate Han Solo.
Yeah, it's carbonated.
You've been carbonated. You're all bubbles
Favorite
now.
character.
Han Solo carbonated.
Okay. Okay.
Most underrated character.
You like him
The
as
carbonate machine. Nah, I'm joking.
he's
Actually, nah, for real. The carbonate machine kept what's his name alive.
I mean, yeah,
Ew, those
it's
little
pretty cool.
gremlin things that were like
Nah, I'm
the
joking.
controllers of the carbonate machine. Those things are nasty.
Oh yeah. I don't
Carbonate?
know what those.
The most
I don't know what those guys are called.
underrated character. I was thinking Chewie as well, because he was the only one who had sense to go look after.
Go
you know,
look for
for
3PO.
You
3PO.
have responsibility
Like he
for me,
immediately
Chewbacca.
knew.
Right.
You know, and like Leia and Han are like 3 days later. Hey man, where's
Where's that
you know that robot? Where's he
golden
at?"
talking toaster that keeps following?
Yeah, when he
around?
like punches out the little dudes when he's trying to get like C-3PO's like
quills?
body
Yeah.
parts back. That is pretty good.
oh, the
my,
quills, yeah.
My
Yeah.
least favorite character, Luke. Man, he was such a little whiny whiner.
He's got a lot going on. You know.
Does he?
Yeah, he's got
Does
all
I
he?
have a lot going on.
It's got all
I'm not a
these-
whiny
Everybody has a
whiner.
lot going
Jedi
on.
powers.
I mean,
There's
he
a
did get his
war.
arm chopped
Does
off.
he though?
But he whines before
when
his
he
freaking
goes
episode.
into train, he has nothing except training and impatience to look forward to.
That's true. You're
Luke to me has no respect.
No respect.
No respect. He's better in the next movie, but
No wonder
Right, when he
Kylo
matures.
freaking left him. It's like, you ain't nothing but an impatient master.
yeah, like I said,
Ain't
you guys
nothing
are
but a
gonna
cheap
really
thing.
enjoy
Brr, brr.
when you get to like 7 and 8 because rewatching those after like watching everything very fresh about Luke and Vader is like, geez, Kylo, just man. And even Luke is like being a whiny baby still. I'm gonna hide on this island and nobody gonna find me. The Jedi will
Drink my
die.
weird milk.
Drink
Check my
this milk. I think my favorite scene is the asteroid field when they're escaping.
That's pretty
Because
good.
they're dodging all the asteroids and stuff like that. That's really cool. And then hiding on the
Make the TIE
on the
fighter
cave.
sound.
Wait, no.
No.
Oh, the
TIE
flying
fighters.
flying sound.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're gonna give yourself attention, honey.
I can't do it right now. I know you
No,
can't.
the freaking
It's a
R2D2
weird
scream
screeching
is so
sound.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, favorite part, R2D2 screen. It is a good movie. So, I'm going to give this movie calculating. I'm doing an Andre.
Yeah.
He did it when he went to the bathroom. It
I
was
did.
good.
That's right.
I'm going to give it a 9.5. Because overall, like the arc of the movie is, I mean, it's not surprising now because we already know what happened.
Sure.
But if you're thinking of like the concept of it for the times, it's surprising. It's got some action. It's got a little love tension. It's got a cliffhanger. Like it's everything pretty good in a movie, you know?
Yeah.
So 9.5. And it is one of the better of all the Star Wars
Right.
movies.
Out of the trilogy, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just one of the better ones, like in general, too, because of like the power and the storyline and he's his father, you know. 9.5.
9.5.
I don't want to watch the next one.
Luis,
You want to watch a Jedi?
that's because
No.
you don't like Ewoks and that. They're so cute.
They're not in it for that long.
Yeah, but
You
they
don't
ain't
wanna see
cute.
Slave Leia?
She hot.
Actually,
I
Jabba the
wanna
Hutt
see
is
Slave
really
Leia.
nasty looking in the next one. That's what's gonna freak you out.
I want to see your captured Leia.
Yeah. She's
Because
captured.
I don't...
They call her Slave Leia, don't they?
Well,
They don't say that in the movie, but
oh,
like,
it's just like a thing.
but I mean, Jabba's not paying these women. You know what I'm saying?
See, the next movie is my favorite one. I really like it.
I'll give this movie a 8.5.
8.5.
It's an 8.
8.
Luke's
What?
whining is just
Oh,
drop major points there.
Luis.
Because
does
growing
not
up, I
like
thought Luke
whinies.
Skywalker was like the bomb. I never
Right.
seen any movie, but I thought he was the
It
bomb.
was super cool.
Then I really watched him, like, I admired this guy.
That's why I like really enjoyed episode 8 because like when Rey is like, "You're Luke Skywalker,
The
like,
legend.
the legend," and he's like, And I'm like, "Yeah, he's not a legend. He's annoying. He is a legend." But Emily,
I'm gonna say I'm gonna give it an 8.25.
Okay.
8 point-
that's so specific.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5. It's good. I really enjoy it.
You don't need the tauntaun.
Oh God,
Or Hoth. in
I don't
general.
like any of that Hoth stuff. I mean, I understand it's important for like the story, but I just don't enjoy it. Like I could just move to the part where they're escaping
Right.
and just skip that whole like almost 30 minutes.
That's true. It is. It's fairly long.
It's
in the beginning.
kind of drawn out for me. But besides that, I really enjoy it. It's fun. It's action packed. I enjoy the back and forth between Darth. I like the different storylines minus the Luke Mordor.
Running through the swamp.
Yep.
Jumping through.
Very good.
Flippin'.
Andre.
I'm going to give this movie, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, I think I'm going to give it like a 9.8
Whoa.
because I generally went into this thinking that it was going to be a 10, like for sure. Like no doubt this is
Yeah, it's like your favorite,
the
one of your
bestest.
favorite movies.
But you guys are right that Luke is pretty whiny, and
He took off
I
a
have
point,
to
too.
I have to take off a couple points just for whininess.
I almost gave it a 9 because of Luke.
Right.
He is quite annoying.
Yeah. but once again, he does get better after this. It turns out you got to get beat up by your dad and have your arm cut off, and then you finally you wise up.
No, what happens
You
is you
build a
grow up on
lightsaber.
Tatooine, and that's what happens.
Yeah. He's gonna go to Tashi Station to buy some power converters.
I love my husband.
All right, you guys, that has been it for our talk on Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, you always make Obi-Wan sound like so British.
What's that? I mean, well, number one, he is
But
British.
you sound like a
He's-
Beatle when you
Name
do
is
that.
Alec Guinness,
I'm
and
a Beatle.
yes, his voice is very similar to this
Obi-Wan
from a
doesn't-
certain point of view.
That's better. From a certain point of view.
Luke, go to the Dagobah system. Train with my master Yoda.
Shut up! I'm done. This is the Walt Vault. Bye.
If you
Papa,
guys,
can you hear
What?
me?
Oh, that's right. Next week we will be talking about the 1996 live-action Touchstone Pictures film, Kazam.
Did you
Not
say that was
Shazam. It's Kazam.
Kazam.
Kazoo?
I've been calling it Shazam the entire
Because there is
time.
a Shazam movie, and I just saw that not
Right.
that long ago. And this is a Kazam movie. It's
You
so
say
confusing.
Kazam with so much fervor.
Kazam. Shazam is a DC movie.
Superhero movie.
He's
Oh.
got a big red cape, and
He's funny.
and it's pretty funny. Kazam is a movie starring the basketball player Shaq. So
Which
Shaquille
is why
O'Neal.
it should be called Shazam.
Shaqzam.
Shazam.
Shazam.
So keep in touch with us. Check that out next week. We are at the Walt Vault Pod on social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Go there, write in a comment. Let us know what you think about The Empire Strikes Back. Let us know if you're excited for Kazam.
Star Wars. Nothing but Star Wars.
Yes.
Not next week.
Drop us a DM.
You have to wait a month.
Slide on in.
Slide in.
Stop it. I was just talking 2 days
Slide
ago about
on
how
into
much that
that
makes me mad with
tone.
other people.
Slide
And then I had to
into it.
give all the backstory and why it bothers me about the slide into the DMs.
Slide through Dagobah
Slipping
into our
in,
DMs.
sliding,
To the Dagobah system.
To the Dagobah system. Send an email to contact@thewaltvaultpod.com. Head to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/thewaltvault. Get some extra content over there for only $1. That helps us keep the lights on in here. It's a dark vault. And I think that's it, right? Oh, you can still get our merch on Bonfire. Check out the link in our description. Buy some sweaters or some T-shirts.
And then next week,
tank tops.
I'll be in Disney World.
Yes, me and Michelle are going on a wee vacation.
A wee vacation.
A wee vacation, but there's no.
We probably won't see you guys there, but
There's going to be no reduction in episodes for you. Don't worry. There will
No.
still be 4 episodes this month.
It will also be Andre's birthday in which he turns
Ooh,
old.
That's right.
his
I'm
dirty tutty.
becoming
30,
old.
30.
Should I stop talking about Star Wars so much? Nah.
No.
Not gonna be
What does that
30.
have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Freaking Jon Favreau's what? How old?
Yeah, that's true. They're definitely 40 and 50 and
Happy
60
as
year
old.
olds talking about
Happy.
Star Wars and being just as excited as me about it. So yes, I'll be 30 by the time you listen to the next episode. Shout out to me.
Shout out to me.
Ooh, hurrah, hooray. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening. That's been it for this week. We will see you next time for some shacky goodness. The vault is now closed.